All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe Pellerin, coming to you LIVE, live, from my upstairs balcony? Upstairs porch? I guess it's going to be a balcony or a porch. Balcony porch? Anyway. All right. What are you drinking? What are you smoking? Give me a Rocky Patel here again. This is the Rocky Patel 60. All right. Says from 1961 to 2021. And came up, well, I already, well, I scrunched it up already, but came with a little fancy wrapper there. Oop. Just FYI. And then what are you drinking here? Keep that going. Had this one before, I think, out here. The St. Earl's Commitment. It's a Imperial Stout, 13.14 ABV. Gotta love that. And I got my Commitment glass, which of course I always drink out of out here. So, but yeah, top that off a little bit. There you go. All right. So a couple things here. We got a few topics to discuss today. So first of all, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's start with a kind of quick recap here of the NBA playoffs. And to be completely honest with you, once again, I haven't been able to catch too much of the playoffs. I did catch the end of that Celtics game where they Celtics and Bucks game where the Bucks came back. That was freaking phenomenal. I think that was Wednesday. Yeah, that was Wednesday. Caught the end of that game. That was actually thoroughly entertaining there. So it looked like the Bucks were going to piss away that game, and then Celtics ended up pissing that game away. Bucks ended up winning 110, 107. So as of where things stand right now here, let's see. The Heat closed out the Sixers. They won that series 4-2. Believe it or not, the Suns and the Mavs are going to Game 7. I think that's the biggest shocker so far in this one. I'm totally surprised by that. And they got blown out. The Suns did 113-86 last night. And then we've got the Celtics and Bucks. Bucks up 3-2. And then we got Grizzlies, Warriors, Golden State up 3-2. So here's your quick NBA recap. All right. Move over to the NHL here. All right, now so let me get that off the list because we're going to clear that one out. All right, so let's get our NHL, quick NHL recap. I've been watching a little bit of the NHL just because I'm here in Texas, so I've been trying to catch the Stars a little bit against Calgary. I watched a little bit of the Bruins last night, and who the hell they playing? I don't even remember. The Hurricanes. All right, so let's see here. We've got the Bruins forced a Game 7. That series is tied at 3. And then we had the Maple Leafs force a Game 7. Or excuse me, the Lightning forced a Game 7. Lightning won 4-3 in overtime. That series is tied at 3. Blues closed out the Wild 4-2. And then Edmonton forced a Game 7. Oilers won that one 4-2 over the Kings. Tonight we've got the Stars and Flames. Calgary's up 3-2 in that series. Pens, Rangers, Pens up 3-2 in that series. And then Panthers, Capitals, Florida's up 3-2 in that series. So there's your quick NBA and NHL playoff update if you haven't been following. And then, like I said, we'll probably get a little bit more in depth when that goes. Let's see here. How's that all I got? Oh, I thought I had more on the list than that. Let's see. Okay, so there's your quick that. All right, how about let's do the NFL schedule. All right. As far as that goes, and let's see here. Okay. So NFL released there's now obviously we already knew who was playing who. All right, that got released during the season, and I think schedules are made like 2 or 3 years in advance. And plus, you just rotate, because like this year, for instance, the NFC East is playing the NFC North, and then they're also playing the AFC South, and then that'll just rotate next year. And so That's real easy. And then you got your division opponents, which of course are easy. I mean, you know you're going to be playing your division opponents twice a year, and then you know you're going to be playing, one AFC division, one NFC division, and then you get your rando games in there. The 17th game is like a third place matchup across, whatever. Uh, So everybody knew who everybody was playing. With the schedule though coming out, the full schedule coming out, the only thing is now that we know when everybody's playing, we know who's playing at noon, who's playing at here in Central Time, who's playing at noon, who's playing at 3 o'clock, who's got the Sunday night game, who's got the Monday night game, who's playing Thanksgiving, who's playing on Christmas, yada yada yada, with all that stuff. Now, I think it's absolutely stupid that every team and every radio station and TV station across the country, no matter who it is, whether it's for the Commanders, whether it's for the Cowboys, whether it's for the Giants, the Jets, whatever, that all these people go through the schedule and they say, all right, well, the Texans should beat the Jaguars in the first game, or, Mike Washington's actually playing the Jaguars in the first game. So Washington has to win that game, and then they'll probably lose to Dallas, and then they'll beat Cincinnati, and then they'll lose to... I don't understand that. I don't know why people are really that interested in it, because the thing about it is those predictions are bullshit, because one, they're predictions, but also two, every freaking year we've got upsets. So you can look at a freaking schedule and say, that Buffalo should destroy the Jets on any given Sunday, but once again, any given Sunday, the Jets can upset the Bills, and all of a sudden the Bills end up losing a freaking game. I mean, they saw it last year. Bills, what did the Bills lose to that was bad? Bills lost to somebody that was bad. Titans lost to the Texans and got their ass kicked. But games, you're going to lose games that you're not supposed to lose. You're going to win games that you're not supposed to win. And that's just the way the NFL is. All right, it's any given Sunday, so I think just trying to predict. Now, if you want to try to predict their overall record and saying, okay, well, yeah, we should win this game, but we might blow it, and say, looking at it, I'm thinking 9-8, I'm thinking 10-7, whatever. Maybe they make the play. I get, but to get there and go every game and do predictions, and plus, you don't know who's going to get hurt. You could have the Texans losing to Dallas, but then Dak Prescott goes down, and the next thing you know, the Texans are beating the Cowboys. You don't know any of that shit. So I think that's just a little overkill and redundant and kind of freaking stupid. But that's just one man's opinion. So we're not going to do that. I do want to go over week one schedule, though, just for kind of more betting purposes and things like that, just so you know how week one's going to end up starting. All right. So, first of all, the NFL season is going to kick off with what should be a good game. Now, it is week one. Week one games tend to be a little lackluster because everybody's getting into the groove. It's kind of like the first week of baseball season, you know what I mean? But it's Thursday night. On September the 8th, it's going to kick off with the Buffalo Bills at the defending champion LA Rams. And of course, the Rams have their celebration. Usually the Super Bowl champs, they always kick off. They always get that first game, kickoff game. But then the Bills coming into town for that. That should be a good game, because that potentially could have been a Super Bowl matchup. But, then that Bills lost to that Chiefs in that great game in the division round. And then the Bengals is a 80s girl band. The Bengals end up winning, and upsetting the Chiefs, so ended up in the Super Bowl. So that's going to kick things off. Like I said, I'm on Central Time, so I'm going to say noon on these. So noon for my team, Jaguars going to be visiting Washington. Like our chances there. And then we got a division game, Saints at Falcons. We got Niners at Bears. We've got Steelers at Bengals in an AFC North matchup. Eagles at Lions. Patriots at Dolphins in an AFC East matchup. Ravens at Jets. And then we've got Browns at Panthers. Colts at Texans, and then your late afternoon games, Giants at Titans, Packers at Vikings in the NFC North matchup, of course, Colts, Texans, AFC South matchup, Chiefs, Cardinals, that should be a good game, Raiders Chargers AFC West matchup, that should be fun. And then the Sunday night game is Bucks Cowboys in Dallas in Jerry's World, and then the Monday night game, first Monday night game is going to be Russell Wilson visiting his former team, the Seattle Seahawks, in that first Monday night game. So that's a pretty good, I think that would be a pretty good matchup. Good call there by the schedule makers on that first one. Put the Broncos and Seahawks there. Russell Wilson going back to Seattle for that first Monday night game. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. Also, I'm pretty happy with how the schedule turned out, at least as far as the Commanders go, because last year with the NFC East, it was so dumb because the football team, as they were called last year, they what ended up happening is they had to play basically all of their they had to play all of the NFC East opponents in like the last. Let's see, they had 2 games with Philly, 2 games with the Giants. That's 4, 2 games with. They had 5 of the 6 because they opened the season with the Giants, and then they had to play all 5 of the rest of their division games in the last 5 weeks of the season, which was just freaking stupid because it was like Eagles, Cowboys, Giants is how it went. And that was just absolute stupidity. Like, I understand that they thought that the NFC East was going to be better than it was last year because obviously the Cowboys ran away with it. Everybody else in that division sucked. I get that, and they thought it was going to come down to that. But, man, I mean, you guys should have to play your division opponent at the beginning of the season and then play them at the end of the season. Like, that would make more sense to bookend it because you're going to, injuries happen and shit. And, like, if you lose a quarterback or you lose a running back or something like that, like you're going to have to play when you're playing that close together and you're got a guy out for 3 weeks. Well, he's going to miss both the games with your division rivals, which is like the most important game, of the season or those division games. So that was just stupid. So the only dumb thing that they did this year is because, we get Dallas the last game of the season, get Dallas early in the season actually it's on my birthday, October the 2nd. But the only dumb thing is the Washington's they're going to play the Giants, have a bye, and then play the Giants again, which once again is stupid and dumb, but it is what it is. All right. But other than that, I'm happy with the schedule. That should be a good one. All right. I think that's pretty much it for. That kind of does that. All right. NFL news. Fox signed Tom Brady when he retires. 10 years, $370 million contract to call football games. Yeah. Hold on a second. I need a second to try and wrap my mind around that. All right, put that in perspective. I believe, let's see. I know Justin Verlander's getting 30-something million this year. I think Schwarzer's getting 30-something million. Carlos Correa's getting 34, 35 million, somewhere in that neighborhood. All right, so let's put it in that perspective there. And even with the pitchers, the pitchers that are making, we'll just say between 30 and 35 million. All right. So they're probably, Verlander, because of the TJ, the Tommy John, they've kind of got the 6-man rotation going. They've been kind of getting him in with days off too. And before when they had a 5-man with days off, they were just pushing him back and pushing the rotation back. But I mean, if any indication is, he's been going deep in games, but so you figure a guy's going to make, 30 starts a season, give or take, for the most part, pitched a couple hundred innings, something like that. Of course, playing only every 5th day. and making $30 million a year, or an everyday player, Carlos Correa. Now, of course, he's on the IL right now, but you figure, okay, he's still going to play even if he's hurt and everything else. At some point he's probably going to end up playing. Even with days off too, you're looking at between 120, 130 games, which is a lot of games. Of course, you've got NFL quarterback, Patrick Mahomes making 30-something million. Obviously, Deshaun Watson's going to be making 30-something. Well, not base salary, but with all his incentives and bonuses and bullshit, he's going to be making $30-something million, this year. But he's going to have to go through the grind of play a game, do it through that. Tom Brady's going to be getting paid the same amount of money. Now, I mean, we can say that, the athletes are overpaid, but Tom Brady's going to be getting paid the same amount of money to be an analyst once a week to call a game. And which here lately, too, I know all these networks, whether it's CBS, ABC, ESPN, NBC, Fox, everybody's got football. Hell, even Amazon now, they have Thursday night games. Even Amazon now are doing all this stuff to get good broadcast teams. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman went over to ESPN. They're going to be doing the Monday night games. Al Michaels going, of course, to Amazon for the Thursday night games. And then, of course, Mike Tirico, he's getting, and Mike Tirico's a good play-by-play guy. I like Mike Tirico a lot. He deserves it, but he's getting kicked up to call games with Collinsworth there on Sunday Night Football. And then, CBS started paying Tony Romo $17 million a year. They're going to pay Brady $37.5 million a year. And that kind of begs the question, do we care on who's calling the game? I don't think we do. If you love football and you love the NFL, I don't think you give two monkey shits about who's calling the goddamn game. Now, there's people that don't like Joe Buck. I'm one of those people, all right? I think he has gotten better, but I'm just not a fan of his play calling. I know a lot of people don't like him because he thinks they're taking digs at the team and stuff. And there was the whole, oh my God, fawning over, Juan Soto in the 2019 World Series. I don't know how many times, Joe Buck mentioned his freaking age. But of course he's, broadcasting to a national audience and stuff, which I get. But as far as play calling goes, I think he's gotten a little bit better, but I just didn't like his play calling. But anyway, does it really matter? Are we going to watch Monday Night Football because Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are calling the game? Probably not. Is there going to be a decision that we make where normally we don't watch Monday Night Football because we had to go to work the next day? Is that going to change because Troy Aikman and Joe Buck are calling the game? No. All right, if you still got to work on Tuesday night and the game sucks, and it's, the Jets and the Giants on Monday night, you're not going to watch. All right, it's just going to be a shit show. All right, same thing with Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football is usually bad football, and it's usually bad matchups. All right, you're going to have the Jaguars and the Texans on a Thursday night. Okay, unless we got money on the game or we got fantasy involved in it, we're not going to watch it. We're not going to watch Thursday Night Football just because Al Michaels is on the call. We're not going to watch a game on Fox just because Tom Brady's on the call. We're not watching CBS because Tony Romo's on the call. We're watching the Thursday game because it's the Chiefs and it's the Bills, and that everybody knows is going to be a great game. We don't give a shit who's calling it. You can have, the E team call that game, and nobody's going to care because it's going to be a good game. As long as the game is good, we do not care. So I just think that's I don't know where these TV execs have kind of gotten off here on this, pay all these analysts and all these play-by-play guys, because that's not why we're watching the freaking game. All right, we're watching the game because it's a good matchup. Yeah, but like I said, all right, especially what happened last year, if you get, Bills Chiefs again this year, which I don't even know if they're playing each other. I'm just throwing it out there as an example. If you get Bills Chiefs again, and like I said, it's being called by, hell, I don't even know who, B team is, Chris Myers isn't a bad guy, color guy, but he's kind of down the list of, at Fox. But if Chris Myers and Moose Johnson are on the call for Bills Chiefs, and then you've got, Tony Romo and Jim Nantz calling once again Texans Jaguars, which game are you going to pick? Well, you're going to pick Bills Chiefs because it's going to be a better freaking football game. All right, you're not just going to pick the Chiefs. You're not going to pick the Texans and the Jaguars just because Jim Nantz and Tony Romo are on the call. So I just think it's stupid. All right, but whatever, man. Just whatever. It's their money. They can do whatever the hell they want with it, I guess. But Jesus Christ. But can you imagine being like a director or a producer or one of the grunt guys, camera guy, and Tom Brady's getting paid $37.5 million and you're getting paid like $100,000? Like, what the fuck's wrong with anyway. All right, that's that. Okay, moving on. All right, real quick here. We'll get into we're going to save the Derby here for last. But just real quick, maybe take 5 minutes here. We'll take the last 5 minutes for the Derby. Kind of with baseball, getting into baseball a little bit. A couple things with baseball. Number one, seems like home runs are down, and there's been a lot of talk with the ball, it being a dead ball. I'm going to make a long story short here. Baseball says that the pitcher's mound is 16.5 feet from home plate. The mound has to be so many inches high. I can't remember what the height of the mound is, but the mound's got a set height. 90 feet between the base paths. Okay. Home plate's got to be a certain size. Bases are a certain size. All right. Now, the field itself, how big the field is can vary, obviously. You got all kinds of ballparks with short porches and, deep fields. You got huge ballparks like Coors Field and Petco and places like that. And you got places with short porches like New York, with the Yankee Stadium, and Houston at Minute Maid, and Fenway. If you hit it, of course, you got to clear the monster, but it's only 310 down that line if you hit it around Fisk Bowl down there. But they still regulate, everything else, how big the rubber is and stuff. The one thing that they don't put size on, minus the dimensions of the field itself, minus, the outfield, I should say, is the ball. The ball is not standard. How do you not have a standard ball? Like, can you imagine the NBA having different balls, the NFL having different balls? I mean, because the thing about a baseball is it's just yarn wrapped in cowhide, okay? But if you take that yarn and wrap it tight, you get a more lively baseball because it's wrapped tighter. It's going to travel farther. You loosen up that yarn and you get a dead ball because it's not going to travel as far. It's not as tight. It's not going to travel as far. Just standardize the damn ball, man. Like, how freaking hard is that? Just though everybody's playing with the same damn thing, for Christ's sakes. I mean, the Olympics do it. How the hell does Major League Baseball not do it? All right, so that's just my one thing on that. All right, real quick. And then the last quick baseball thing is, so Justin Verlander had a no-hitter the other night against the Twins going into the 8th inning. Made it through 7. The same night the kid from, I can't remember his name, but the rookie from Anaheim threw a no-hitter too. But JV had him win, and of course they got into, but the beat writers for the Astros, Brian McTaggart for MLB.com, Chandler Rome for the Houston Chronicle, also the radio guys, of course, that were on the call, Robert Ford on the radio. They obviously were saying that there was a no-hitter going on because that's their freaking job. They're called a reporter for a reason. They're supposed to report. And so McTaggart's giving updates, saying Justin Verlander's got a no-hitter going through, into the 7th. Chandler Rome doing the same thing. Robert Ford on the radio, because on the radio you can't see, there's no score. So, and if you ever listen to a game on the radio, they always give you the line. They'll go back and say, they'll just say, Astros 3, Twins nothing. Astros three runs on 5 hits and or whatever, and they'll say 3-1-5 for the Twins and 0-0-0 for the Astros or whatever the hell it may be. So there's still a way to do it, but there's this whole idea that you're going to jinx the no hitter jinx. I think I'm superstitious. All right, we're all superstitious. I get that, but you don't think that that the reporters for the Angels were saying no hitter? I'm sure the beat reporters for the Angels were saying, "Hey, this guy's got a no hitter going into the ninth. Holy shit!" ESPN gives you updates. If you got an ESPN app, you get the alert, no hitter alert on your ESPN update. There's a no hitter, perfect game alert. They'll even say that. They'll say perfect game alert, no hitter alert, all that stuff, and do it. So I just think we put. I mean, in baseball, it's the most superstitious sport of all of them. But the fact that just because you said Verlander's got a no hitter going into the eighth doesn't mean that's the reason he gave up a base hit in the eighth inning. You know what I mean? And like I said, there was people probably in Anaheim saying, "Oh my God, this guy's got a no hitter," and he still threw the freaking no hitter. Right? And like Bob Ford made a good point, he's called 3 no hitters. Every time he's called a no hitter, he's always said he called JV's no hitter in Toronto in 2019 for crying out loud. And in that game, he said JV's got a no hitter, and he still threw a freaking no hitter. All right, so there is no jinx. Relax, baseball fans. It's okay. All right, take a deep breath. It's fine. I know we're a superstitious bunch. It's okay to be superstitious, but don't blame the fact that the guy got a hit in the 8th inning or the 9th inning because a reporter said that he had a no-hitter. Okay? I think it's more of a jinx when the NFL guys come on and kickers up the kick, and it's like, this guy has not missed a field goal from between 30 and 40 yards all season. This one's from 38 yards, and he missed it. That's a bigger freaking jinx, I think, than the mentioning a no-hitter. That's just me. All right, so there's that. And then real quick here while we're running out of time, because we're just, hey, time flies when you're having fun here. And we're trying to cover a lot of topics in a short period of time here. Last in the Kentucky Derby. That was a hell of a damn Kentucky Derby. Rich Strike. I mean, it was amazing. I don't know dick about horse racing. I only bet on horse racing. Now, I did have 2 of the horses in my trifecta. I always do a trifecta box, which basically you spend $1 and you bet all 6 combos. So either way, it's just $1 bet, but you spend $6, but then you don't have to worry dick with the order. All right, you got all the orders covered. So I had 2 of the 3, and normally I get pissed when I miss a third horse in my trifecta. And I'm like, damn it, why didn't I bet that one? If I would have bet that one, I would have won. This is the one time I was like, wasn't worried about it because Rich Strike was going off 80-1 when the race started. 8-0, 8T, not 8, 8T, 8-0-1 when the race started. Horse got scratched. And then, so Rich Strike wasn't supposed to be in the Derby. Horse got scratched. And then they made the deadline with 30 seconds to spare. Right? Just 30 seconds. This horse was destined to win this damn race. All right. They're talking about jinxes and curses and fate and destiny. Holy shit, man. Come on now. So if you haven't watched the overhead view of the race, watch the overhead view of the race because you can actually see him just... But he was very comfortable. The horse was very comfortable in traffic. He was laying back. And then the guy on the call and then later the analyst, both of them were saying this is a suicidal breakneck pace that these horses are running. And I think that first quarter mile was like the fastest in Derby history. I mean, they ran it in like 43 seconds or something like that. It was nuts. They were freaking flying. And he was just kind of like the tortoise and the hare almost. He was just kind of back there doing his thing. And then the horse was really comfortable in traffic. And then the jockey, even though he started from the 20th gate, which is normally, there's only been like 2 horses in the history of the Derby that win from that position. I think he was the 3rd. Was real comfortable, and then he just weaved, basically. I mean, he was finding openings. It was just like a car passing on the freeway. He was just kind of weaving in and out of traffic, got to the rail, and just went, and the front runners, they just started fading. They just were out of gas there at the end, and he ended up winning that damn thing. So here's the payouts for you. So like I said, I did have Epicenter and Zandon in one of my trifectas, but I didn't have Rich Strike in any of them. But a $2 bet on Rich Strike paid $163.60. So for every $2 a bet, that's how much you won. $74 to place, $29 to show. And then a $2 exacta if you had it, $4,000, $4,101.20. Dollar trifecta got you $14,870.70, and then the super got you $321,500.10. That is on a dollar bet, my friends. Dollar bet on the try, dollar bet on the super. You're either winning nearly 15 grand or you're winning 321,500. Dollar bet. That's nuts. All right, and quick on the Preakness coming up. Rich Strike owners decided they've made a decision to keep him out of the race. They're going to focus on the Belmont, which I think is stupid when you got a chance to win a Triple Crown, but whatever. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime thing to do. It's kind of like pulling Clayton Kershaw in the 7th inning of a perfect game, and then guess what? He ends up on the IL anyway. That happened today too. So anyway, that's my quick thing about that. But he's not going to run the Preakness. So no Triple Crown winner this year because we're not going to get which sucks. So we'll see how that happens. So, bet the Preakness enjoy. So anyway. All right. Still got NBA playoffs. Still got NHL playoffs. And let's see. We've had the draft. We got the schedule out for the NFL. Just waiting for preseason to start. That kick off in the middle of baseball season right now. So baseball's still going and all that kind of fun stuff. And that's pretty much it for this week. We'll talk about the Preakness and what happened in it. Because the Preakness isn't until the 21st, but we'll get into that. Probably take some more football, some more baseball, and then we'll get into the NBA playoffs and stuff, especially as we get down to the conference finals and stuff like that for the NBA. So, anyway. All right, y'all have a good one. Cheers, everybody. Drink up. Enjoyed it. Have a good week. Enjoy your sports. And we will talk to you next week. Peace.